Hey everybody, it's Shayna, and I'm here with a memory plan with me. Not something I do very often. But this video is actually kind of special because I'm actually doing this video in a collab with some other YouTubers. So there is Planning Annie, Morgan Plans, Life in the Mitten, and Spellbound Notes. And we're all doing this hashtag Planner Crush 2021 collab, which I think is really, really cool. So that's why the video is coming out a little later than normal. So a special thank you to Planning Annie, who's actually the one that thought of this and put this together, asked us all to be in this collab. I thought this was a really cool idea. If you want to join in, go ahead and do hashtag Planner Crush 2021 in the comments or your own video or even on Instagram and answer these questions. I'll be putting these questions up too. So I do have a set of questions that we're all going to be answering in our various videos. I'll link the other videos as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get on into it. I'm doing memory keeping, like a memory keeping type spread, and that is not something I do very often, so we'll see how this goes. Okay. I do have these photos that I printed of my husband and I. So they're various stages of our friendship and relationship. I have some washi here that are in the colors of our wedding. And then I have just some craft sticker paper if I decide to use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying down some stuff here. So y'all know I haven't done very many memory planning videos, so I thought it was time for me to try something different, a little bit different anyway. Oh gosh, these like all curled overnight. I'm gonna have to actually put like 4 pieces down just to get these to stick. I'm using these adhesive squares. Anyway, so the first question is, what was your first planner? So forever ago I had those like $1 agendas that you can get at like Walmart or something. You know, those like little tiny ones that are only like this big. You can't even see what I'm doing. They're only like this big. They're tiny little ones, and they just basically had months, and I forget if they had weeks. I don't know. Those were essentially my first ones. I mean, we could talk about my bright pink Barbie themed diary with a gold locket on it that I bedazzled with stars as well. But those were my first planners, and it was funny because as like an 8-year-old, here I am thinking that I had anything to plan in those, but I loved the idea of them. So I had a lot of those. My mom would get really sick of buying those for me. So there's that. I'm gonna well, I'll just leave it for now. So yeah, that's those were my first planners. I also had you know, the planners that you got in middle school, high school. I also had those. And I absolutely loved those. Like when I got into the planning community the first time, when I got into the planning community, I remembered those planners and I really was not surprised because I loved those planners so much. Are you gonna cooperate? I don't know where I got this washi from, to be honest. It might be an old Michael's washi. I have no idea. Anyway, but I love to doodle in those planners. I remember like if I had science homework due, I wouldn't write science. I would basically hand letter the word science, and then underneath it I would write what I actually had due. And it's kind of funny thinking back on that now. So long ago. But for my first planner after joining the planner community, this washi sucks. This sucks. For my first planner after joining the planner community, that was a day designer from Target. It was a gigantic spiral bound thing. It had, what did it even have? It had, I don't know if all day designers are this, really though? We're going 2 for 2 on, well, 2 for 3, I guess, on ripping. But they have like the monthly layout, and then they have the dailies. I forget if they had a weekly, but they did have the dailies, and I remember the dailies were so giant. They had like a schedule here and notes here or something like that, and I just did not have anything going on in my life at that time. Not nearly enough to need something with that amount of space. So I actually took these giant cards that were like from scrapbooking stuff, like journaling type cards. I took those and I would just cover up the whole page basically with that. Why? And you know, I thought I was the coolest thing for figuring that out and doing that. I thought that was so neat. I was so proud of myself. Yeah. And let's see. Can I get this to rip nicely? This is not really the type of journaling that I typically do, so I'm really trying something new here. Not new, but different for me, I guess. Okay, we're gonna try this. These are just some photos of when we were dating. So these were, actually these first photos were pre-dating. My husband and I have actually known each other for a very long time. We've been very good friends for a very long time. We didn't start dating until, I don't know, we were older. Way older. But anyway, that day designer though, I was so nervous to write in it that I bought it in like mid-June or something like that, and I didn't write in it until I think August. So when y'all say that you're like too nervous to write in your planner, I get it. I've done that. Yeah. Oh no. You're gonna come off nicely, please. It got like a bubble in it or something. Anyway. Okay, so that is the first question. The second question is, what do you look for in a planner? So right now, my needs in a planner have changed many times over the course of my planning life. And right now, my needs are basically flexibility and portability. Those are my high tier needs right now. I need it to fit whatever I have going on at the time. Not that my life changes all that much. Like, it makes it sound like my life is constantly, I mean, life does change quite a bit, but I just, it's nice to have something that kind of molds to your life. So since I have tried literally just all kinds of planners, I have tried basically every type of planner there is. I now really know what I do and don't like for certain situations. So I know that for my everyday carry, I don't like big bulky like ring planners. For my everyday carry, I also don't like the very thin Hobonichi weeks. However, I did just order a very cheap A5 rings for work. And I do have a Hobonichi weeks for my kiddos' learning stuff. Oh no, I've made a mistake. For my kiddos' learning, because I was doing like week on 2-page layouts for my kiddos learning, and it was just way more than I needed. And I'm just gonna lay this one down and figure the rest out after that. It was way more than I needed. I really only was doing the timed layout for myself to make sure that I was doing okay, and it just was too much to keep up with. So I stopped doing those timed layouts, and now I have Hobonichi weeks just for writing down the various learning things we did that day. So it's kind of about the flexibility. Not having a hard set layout is a very big thing for me. And yeah, so that's that. What I look for in a planner is absolutely flexibility and portability. Anyway, what planner am I crushing on right now but haven't made the first move? Mini Happy Planner discs. For sure. I have tried Mini Happy Planner before. I have tried discs before. For various reasons. And I don't know that I want to... I might do washi on this page or something. I don't know. Really? A helicopter right now? Don't you know I'm filming? Anyway. I keep trying to find reasons to use the Mini Happy Planner. Y'all don't even know how many times I have tried to use this Mini Happy Planner. It's ridiculous how many times I have thought about using it and trying to figure out how it could fit into my current planner routine and my life right now. And I just, every single time, I end up realizing that either I don't need what I am thinking about, or I find something else that would work better. So, like, take my work planner. My work planner, I am currently using an A6-stology, and all I'm doing is tasks. Well, my job changed a little bit, so now I need to actually do some more managing and figuring out when things are due and stuff like that. And so I need an actual planner. So right now I have a pocket rings that I'm using for work, but I really did print out inserts. I didn't set it up fully, like decorative and all. I didn't really set it up, but I really did print out Mini Happy Planner inserts and put them in and tried them, and for some reason I just couldn't get into it. And I don't know if it's the discs or if it's the size, I couldn't tell you, but something about it, I just couldn't. So I've been flirting with Mini Happy Planner for, not the actual Mini Happy Planner inserts, but the size of it. I've been flirting with that size for so long now. It's ridiculous. The next question is, what is something about a planner that turns you off immediately? I kind of alluded to this earlier, but anything with a lack of flexibility. That's it. That's what turns me off from a planner. Anything that has a complete lack of flexibility. I need the ability to not have to have a schedule one day, and I like to not have to have, you know, I'd like to add a schedule another day, you know, things like that. Especially bound books. I love my stology. I love my stology. It is obviously a bound book. However, it is a blank bound book with total freedom. The bound books that have like drawn out monthlies with like random questions about your month and your goals, and your dailies are set up for you. I cannot. I've tried so many of them. I cannot. I end up not using most of the layout, and it drives me bonkers to just leave that there. So that's what turns me off. A complete lack of flexibility. The next question, I love this. I love this question. What makes you break up with a planner? What makes me break up with a planner? When I stop opening it. That's when I break up with a planner. I, in 2020, decided, it was late 2020, I was still in my first stology, my first B6 I had decided to try setting up my entire month of November, I think it was, in my B6 so I could keep it continuing in case I flipped back. But I also set it up in my A6 stology, thinking that I could go down in size. If I needed more space, I could always go to another page. And it was great. It was great for a while. I was like, this is awesome. I was really, really liking it. I was using it way more than my B6 for a while there. And then hard stop. I stopped looking at my planner. I stopped dreaming about that planner, like, which is fine. Like, you can stop dreaming about your planner, but like, I just completely stopped using it. And for me, I'll always notice it right away, but for me, the moment that I know that a planner doesn't work for me is when I stop using it. And that's exactly what happened. I just stopped using it, had absolutely no drive to get into my A6, which also carried into my B6. I also didn't go into that really at all. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. I really didn't get a whole lot done that month, which is fine. Like, I don't always need to be doing things, but I actually had stuff that I needed to get done, and I wasn't doing that stuff either, and that was kind of the moment for me where I was like, okay. 9 times out of 10, it is the planner itself that's doing that to me. So, it's very rarely my planner system itself. Especially now that I actually have like a planner system, it's the planner. The next question. Have you ever broken up with a planner and come back to it? Have you guys been around here for a little bit? Many times. Both planners and sizes. Pocket rings, I always come back to pocket rings, which is partially why I have pocket rings. I hate this washi tape. Partially why I have pocket rings as my work planner is because I really just missed pocket rings. I also have pocket rings for my reference planner that I keep here at home. Is this gonna just not? Yeah. Pocket rings, I always come back to. The Hobonichi Weeks. I just mentioned how I have a Hobonichi Weeks again. I said I wasn't gonna buy one, so I didn't buy one. And then I was like, wait a second, that would be perfect. I ended up getting one for my amazing friend Changing Plans on Instagram, and now I'm using that for my my school or learning stuff for my kiddo. The other thing I keep coming back to is bullet journaling. I tried bullet journaling for the first time in 2018. It was decorative, purely decorative. There was absolutely zero need for me to be using that bullet journal. It was not my everyday carry. I worked on being more artistic in my planner than I did being functional, which is perfectly fine. It worked really well for me. I was able to try different layouts, different designs. I was able to work on my artistic skills, I guess. What few there are there. And it was a lot of fun for me. And then I went back to rings, and I did rings for a very long time, and then I came back to the B6 which, I mean, I did try A6 quite a few times as well, and some other bullet journals, but I think bullet journaling is kind of here to stay, but I have broken up with this before. Specific planners though, I have a Foxy Fix mint pocket rings, sugar mint pocket rings that I have broken up with many times, and I'm currently back in it right now. Not necessarily by choice actually, but I'm still in it. So there's that. Yeah. Many planners have been broken up with and somehow came back. So the last question is, if I had to spend the rest of my life with one planner, what planner would it be? You can probably guess. And it would be a B6 Stalogy, 100%. I always come back to pocket rings. I've said that 100 times in here. But if push comes to shove, I would choose B6 Stalogy every single time, because if it really came down to it, the stuff I have in my pocket rings could be put into here easily. Whereas the stuff that's in here, it's a little harder for me to put it into pocket rings and actually use it. So, B6 Stalogy. There we be. Those are the questions. So if you want to answer any of those questions, I'll put them in the description box. Answer them on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever you want to do, and we'll be looking out for those. Tag me in them if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and use my TWSBI here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of journaling. My journaling, if you've seen any of my dailies, is fairly messy, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna write here, so we're gonna see what happens, but I'm just gonna pop some music on and get that going. right, there we go. My hand was cramping so bad throughout all of that. I don't normally write this much in one sitting. Normally I just write little bits. So that was kind of rough. But basically this is the beginning, before we dated. This was when we dated. This was very quick engagement, marriage, honeymoon. And then after marriage and current. So I'm really a fan of this. It's really, really simple, and that's what I like about it. So anyway, that's the video. Hopefully it was kind of enjoyable to watch. Again, I have the videos linked below for the other channels. Please check the other channels out and their videos. And remember, if you want to answer the same questions, I'll have those in the description as well. Answer them in the comments, answer them on Instagram, your own YouTube video, whatever you do, make sure you use hashtag PlannerCrush2021. And if you want, you can tag me as well. I'd love to see your answers to this. Like, I love these questions. They're so awesome. So thank you to Planning Annie for inviting me to be in this collab. And that's it. So thank you so much for being here. As always, I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.